Cheers!
Cheers.
And Julie has a cute little cup there. You can't spell hero without HR. Yes. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Coffee with Hiretual. If you're not new to the show, you know who I am. And if you are new to the show, my name is Winona and I'm the content marketing specialist at Hiretual as well as the producer of this YouTube series. Today we're going to be talking about recruiting from an interesting lens, something a little bit different. I'm going to give you a hint. Football season just started here and it has a little bit to do with that. So here to tell us more about it is HR manager, talent scout, and podcast host Julie Turney. Welcome to the show, Julie. How are you feeling?
Hey, I am doing great, Winona. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm super excited for us to get into the details of today's discussion and to have our audience hear your perspectives really on this interesting topic we have in store. So we have a lot to cover in this short time, so let's dive right into the introductions. So let me tell everyone a little bit about how I even met Julie in the first place. So when I first reached out to you, it was because I came across all these great content that you were putting out about disrupting HR. So I think a couple of the things that you really focused on, bringing the people experience back to the process and leading people with purpose, which I really loved about this whole message that you had. Tell us more about yourself and why you advocate for this so much in the HR and talent space.
So I've been in human resources for the last 15 years, and I have recognized that one thing that is crucial to success as an HR professional is really focusing on the people. You know, one of the things that we get cried down for a lot as HR professionals is that we support the business and not the people. But I believe that everyone in the business is a person, is a human being, and I represent all the people, no matter what level of the organization that they're at. And I'm a strong advocate for allowing people to bring their entire human to work, not just 50% of you, not just the part that you do the work with, but you bring your entire human being to work because you need that in order to be successful in your role. And so that is what I believe. That is what I try to put out there into the universe as I talk to people and work with people and serve people, because I believe that I also serve people and not that I can control people and tell them what to do, but that I work and I serve people. And I think that that's very important. And as you said, I'm a podcaster. I'm also the lead organizer of Disrupt HR for Barbados, Trinidad, and Jamaica. And I am a potential author, I should say. Potential.
Yes, we love that. We love that. And so today we're going to be talking about a really cool analogy that you approach the talent function with. So you like to say that as recruiters, as HR professionals, we need to treat our candidates and employees like we're sports agents. And I find that really interesting. You know, they're the athletes and, you know, you're the agents and we need to make sure that this season works for them. So what made you look at HR and recruiting for this from this lens of, you know, sports agents and athletes?
This started a very long time ago after I watched Jerry Maguire. Help me, help you. But in that movie, in essence, you really saw how focused he was on getting his client to the goal. And in order to do that, he had to understand the field that he was going in. He had to understand his client and find a way to marriage these together. And I believe that for us as recruiters, that is important as well. When we are looking to put people in the right spaces, it's important that we recognize the job and understand the company that we're putting people in, but then understand the people that we're working with to put them in the roles. And that when we do that, then we are able to create an experience that people will truly enjoy. It's not just about putting people in positions, but we're matching organizations to the right people and the right people to the right organizations, because we as a recruiter understand both. And that understanding that fundamentally means that we are going to create a great experience. When we conversate with the employer and they're looking for someone, we can say, hey, I know someone right off the bat because this is my experience with my client. And if your client is looking for someone, then you say, hey, I know an organization right off the bat because I know the organizations that I'm working with. And I believe that that's important.
Exactly. And, you know, going off what you had just said, you know, that experience, whether it's the candidate experience or whether it's the recruiter experience, pretty much the surroundings or the season that you're in really defines, what kind of approach that you have. So, a good sports agent represents their clients well because they've done their research on not just,
That's
the
right.
clients, but they do their research about the general recruiting environment that they're in. They know the needs, the wants of this certain environment, and they keep it real. When they're
Yes,
negotiating their deals, it's not transactional between
exactly.
between a sports agent and an athlete. It's a partnership. So do you
Exactly.
think many recruiters and HR folks still have this transactional mindset? And if yes, how do you think people should start moving away from this transactional mindset?
So yes, I do believe that a lot of recruiters still have that transactional mindset. And just as you pretty much pointed out before, in terms of we're just filling spaces, it's very, it's not organic. We're not building relationships with the people who we're working with. We take a lot of CVs in, we read, we review, we pass them along. Where if you're going through that ATS system, it's even more impersonal. You're not communicating with people, but you're communicating by auto responses. Like, how inhuman is that? And if we really care about that relationship, there's no way an agent, a sports agent, is saying to their client, sending them automatic responses. Like, no way. That is not happening. They are calling you the minute they have a deal that they think looks good to you, and they're going to tell you why it looks good to you. And they are communicating with your family. They're checking in on your kids. They're looking to see how you cope through COVID. Agents are going all out. And as recruiters, we are not doing that. We're not reaching out to our people and saying, hey, I have this really great match for you. Or, hi, organization, what's going on? How is everything going? What are these positions that are available? Tell me a little bit more about your organization so I can understand who you are and interpret that to my client. These are the things that we really need to take into consideration as we make that commitment to having a relationship with a human being that we have said we are going to put into a role that is going to guide their career for what maybe the next 3 to 5 years. And we're saying to the organization, you can bet your bottom dollar that this person that I'm giving you, I'm invested in, and they will be invested in you. We got to dig deeper.
Mm-hmm. I also love that you kind of liken that to the fact that not many athlete agents are sending out those automated responses. They're actively going
No.
out there handling all these different tasks that probably didn't exist last year the same way
Mm-hmm.
recruiters are doing it right now. I mean, like I
Yeah.
mentioned, it's football season here in the US, and the season's been very different than it ever has been before. You have games
Yes.
being canceled and being moved, players being tested every single day, and it's the same approach here in HR. What are the three things that you believe recruiters right now should really be focusing on? Three things that they need to hit that reset button with.
So, three things I could think of that they really would need to focus on is building strong relationships. Also, I believe that they would need to focus a lot more on understanding their role in connecting the employer and the potential candidate. I think a lot of us get lost in not making that connection the best way that we could. Stop ghosting candidates. I feel like that's the worst thing that you could ever do in as you're going through a candidate experience. You've reached out to someone, COVID has happened, but you haven't got back to them to say anything. And I know a lot of people, you see it on Twitter all the time. I applied for this job, haven't heard anything. Twitter is a place to go to see disgruntled candidates, for sure.
Yeah.
You pick them up a dime a dozen every day. Don't ghost your candidates. Be transparent. Keep communicating with them. Don't lose the human touch. Now more than ever is so important, as you rightly said. We're going through COVID. It's not business as usual. Recruiting is not the same. So come on, just be more human about it. Don't ghost your candidates. Get focused. Understand the rules that you're putting out there, and really take the effort to take the time to find out how your candidates are doing, how they're feeling, because that's what sets you out from just being a recruiter to a talent scout. Because you are focused on finding great talent and building those relationships, having good synergies. I'm not saying you got to go help them put away their laundry, but just be more human about it, right? Like really understand who they are and what they're going through. And the same thing for your organization. Understand the organizations that you are putting before candidates, and understand the people that you are translating that information to when it comes to the organization. Be able to answer all of their questions and their pain points. And simple things. Sometimes we don't even know proper clothing etiquette. We don't know proper eating etiquette. You know, you might have a lunch meeting instead of a regular boardroom meeting, and you never know, your candidate may not understand that you have to eat from the outside in. You know, so just get very personal as much as you can to help your candidate win. And once they win, you will win.
Yes,
Ultimately.
exactly. I love that you mentioned that as well. Looking at things from the outside in, putting yourself in the candidate's shoes. We're almost at the end of the episode. Time really just flew by with these questions. It really did. But let's end this on a more positive note. Julie, what are you most excited for in 2021 in this space, and what advice can you offer to all those in the space as well who are both nervous but also kind of ready for 2020 to end and to get a new year started?
It's true. I am excited for the fact that what 2020 has taught us is that all the things that we thought weren't possible before in the workspace are now possible. And I am excited to see what kind of jobs are going to come out of that as a result. Like, I know a lot of organizations are thinking things differently. I know a lot of organizations have changed their mindset as it relates to working from home and those kind of things. But I'm interested to and excited to see what jobs are going to come out of this now, and who has their thinking cap on right now to say, this is a job that I can fill right now. I think one of the things that I always encourage people is see a need, fill a need. Organizations don't know what they need until you tell them. If you are really watching an organization and seeing how it's functioning and how it's developing, and you could think of spaces where they have gaps that you can help them close, create jobs for yourself, and then even go to your recruiter and say, look, I want to work for this organization. I've been watching this. I see that they need this. I have this. Can you get me in? That's what I'm excited to see. That shift, I am super excited to see. I'm really buzzed about it. And I believe that we are going to get there in 2021. So I'm super excited for that. And in terms of advice that I would have is just stay optimistic, stay positive. Yes, we've had a very, very, we could say crappy year. Yes. COVID came, we lost loved ones, but don't let their deaths be in vain. Don't let their death be in vain. Come out of this. You can come out of this a lot stronger as a recruiter. Get more focused on the human side of the people who you are looking at. Start to revise those ATS systems and see what's needed, what's not needed. Make the process more human again. Bring back human to recruiting, to talent searching. Bring it back because we need it. That would be my advice.
Thank you so much, Julie. I think it's just amazing to see how excited you are for 2021, and I really hope that to all our audiences who are viewing this episode, to really just have that positive outlook, to be as excited as Julie is, and to really look at this year as an opportunity to grow and to learn. I'm really happy that you shared your perspectives with us today. If anyone has any questions for you, where would be the best places to reach you at?
LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn all day, every day. I am Julie Turney. That is my handle. You can find me anywhere, Twitter, Instagram, but mainly on LinkedIn. I'm very responsive on LinkedIn, so you can shoot me a message there and connect. Let's connect if we're not connected.
All right, awesome. And I will have those links in the video description as well for all of you to connect with Julie and ask her any questions you might have. Thank you so much, Julie, for being on this episode of Coffee with Hiretual. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.